Can one camera lens replace two and still do a better job? Huawei thinks so, and they might actually be right. The Pura 80 Ultra is Huawei's latest smartphone, and while many people are still waiting for it to launch globally, it's already turning heads in China. And the biggest reason? A camera setup that works smarter instead of bigger. Let's talk about it. Huawei calls it a dual switchable telephoto camera, and it might just change the way smartphone zoom works. Most phones use one zoom lens and call it a day. A few others, like Sony, try fancy moving lenses to handle different zoom levels. But Huawei went in a new direction. They built two zoom lenses inside one camera. So instead of placing two full zoom cameras side by side, which takes up more room, Huawei used a smart trick. They added a movable prism inside the camera that switches between the two zoom levels, 3.7x and 9.4x optical zoom. All of this happens through one large 1128-inch sensor, which is currently the biggest telephoto sensor in any smartphone. That means you get two zoom levels, without using up space for two full camera modules. It also helps keep the phone thinner, and leaves more room for other important parts like the battery or chipset. Let's break it down more simply. When you take a zoomed-in photo, the prism inside the camera shifts to guide the light to one of the two periscope lenses. Both lenses sit in the same big circle on the back of the phone, and both are connected to the same sensor. It's a clean, efficient setup, and Huawei even wrote switchable telelens right on the back of the phone to show it off. So why does this matter? Here's what this system lets you do. Use 3.7x zoom for portraits. You'll get faces that look natural with realistic background blur. The person in the photo looks clear, detailed, and pops out without losing the background. Feeling? Go up to 10x zoom, and you'll get sharp photos even when you're far from your subject. It gives a kind of compressed look, making the background feel closer and more dramatic. For videos, Huawei supports 10x zoom with 4K resolution, so even faraway scenes look clear, bright, and colorful. That kind of performance used to need two separate zoom cameras, but now Huawei does it with just one, thanks to the moving prism and shared sensor setup. It's also worth mentioning the megapixel counts on these lenses. The main telephoto lens has 50 megapixels and comes with sensor shift and anti-shake features. The second lens is 12.5 megapixels with similar stability features. So whether you're taking still shots or shooting videos, the camera can stay steady and sharp. There's a bonus here too: cost and space. Making smartphones slimmer and lighter means brands have to think smart. Sensors are expensive and take up space. Huawei's solution saves both. Two lenses, one sensor, and one moving prism, less material, less space, more performance. It's also better for long-term use. Huawei isn't just giving cool hardware, they've paired it with smart software and solid stabilization tech so that everyday users can take better photos without needing to learn anything new. To sum it up, Huawei's dual switchable telephoto camera is more than a gimmick. It's a real upgrade that changes how smartphone zoom can work. And if more brands take this route, we might see slimmer phones with stronger cameras becoming the new normal. Would you be okay with fewer camera modules if they performed better like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed learning something new, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching. What if I told you Google is finally making a Pixel phone that's 100% Google, inside and out? That's exactly what's happening with the upcoming Pixel 10 Pro, and the leaks we've just seen say a lot. This isn't just another small update, it's a big move by Google to take full control of what powers its phones. Let's break it down. A set of leaked images just showed off a working Pixel 10 Pro prototype. These aren't just mock-ups or concept images. This is a real device being tested, labeled as DVT 1.0, which means it's in the design verification test stage. That's an early stage where the hardware is close to final, and engineers test if everything works as expected. Now, here's where things get really interesting: the processor inside. It's called Tensor G5, and this is the first time Google has fully designed the chip from the ground up. Older Pixel phones used processors partly made by Samsung, but not this one. The Tensor G5 is 100% Google designed and will be made by Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, the same company that builds chips for Apple. Even better, It's built on Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company's third-generation 3-nanometer process. This means the chip should run faster, stay cooler, and use less power than older ones. One of the leaked images had a typo that said it was built on a 5-nanometer process, but that was just an error. The real number is 3 nanometers. Inside the Tensor G5, there's a smart mix of cores. One high-power Cortex-X4 Core 5, Cortex-A725 cores for handling tasks smoothly, 2 Cortex-A520 cores for battery-saving activities. This setup should offer a great mix of power and efficiency. The leaked model also shows the phone will come with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. That's a major upgrade, especially for people who use their phones for gaming, video editing, or keeping lots of apps open. Now, let's talk about the software. The device is running Android 16, but not a quarterly platform release version. That's probably because it's still in testing. The modem used here is the same Exynos 5400 5G modem that powered the Pixel 9 series. It's not new, but still very capable. As for the design, there are a few changes worth noting. The camera bar on the back now stretches closer to the sides of the phone. The metal frame around the rear glass looks thinner, and the camera bump looks a little thicker than before. These are small changes, but they do make the phone feel more refined. One more thing. Remember the SIM card tray? On the Pixel 6 Pro, it was on the bottom left. Now, on this prototype, it's been moved to the top left of the phone. It's a small change, but another sign that Google is rethinking the hardware layout. Oh, and here's something fun. Even. The default ringtones and system sounds for the Pixel 10 Pro have leaked. So even if you don't get this phone, you can at least sound like you did. To sum it all up, the Pixel 10 Pro isn't just about better specs. It's about Google finally taking control of the whole experience, from the chip to the software, to the design. And with a possible launch date set for August 13th, we might be just weeks away from seeing it all become official. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more tech updates. We'll keep you posted as more leaks and news come in. Thanks for watching.
Could Apple be getting ready to cut ties with Qualcomm? It's looking more and more likely, especially with fresh hints pointing to a major shift in the upcoming iPhone 17 lineup. Apple has been working behind the scenes for years to develop its own modem chips, and now it seems like the company is finally prepared to put that work into action. Recently, during Qualcomm's earnings call, their chief financial officer revealed something that caught a lot of attention. He said Qualcomm expects to provide chips for only around 70% of the iPhone 17 models. That's a noticeable drop, and it clearly shows that Apple is beginning to rely less on Qualcomm's technology. So what does this mean for the new iPhones? Based on what analysts are saying, Apple's own modem, rumored to be called the C1, will likely be used in the regular iPhone 17 and a new model that might replace the current Plus version, possibly named iPhone 17 Air. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are expected to continue using Qualcomm's chips for a little while longer. This wouldn't be Apple's first test run. Last year, there were reports that Apple quietly tested its in-house modem on a model called the iPhone 16e. It wasn't part of the main lineup and gave Apple a chance to experiment without risking major sales or customer satisfaction. From what insiders have shared, the results were promising. While the C1 modem may not have outperformed Qualcomm's version in speed, it offered stable performance and possibly even better battery efficiency. That's a big win, especially for users who care about long battery life. Apple's strategy here feels very familiar. Just like the company switched from Intel processors to its own M-series chips in Macs, like the M1 and M2, it seems to be following the same path with modems. Making its own hardware allows Apple to fine-tune everything for better performance, smoother integration, and more control over the entire device. Now, some people might wonder why Apple doesn't just switch all models to its own modem right away. The answer likely comes down to performance and user expectations. The Pro models are typically aimed at power users, and Qualcomm's chips are still slightly ahead when it comes to speed and overall reliability. Apple may want a little more time to polish its modem before pushing it into high-end models. There's also the new iPhone 17 Air to think about. It's expected to be thinner and lighter, which usually means a smaller battery. That's where Apple's modem might come in handy. If it really does help improve battery efficiency, it could be a smart move for this slimmed-down version of the iPhone.